Hello, my beautiful ladies. Today I'll be talking about how to progress quickest in dating men, and how this path of progression truly looks like, because this information I've been studying about psychology for 5 or 6 years or even more before I came to true realization of what progression in self-development, in dating, and anything in life for a woman truly looks like. This I learned from a mentor, and I kept being reminded because I keep coming back to some things that I feel I need to work on. And have you ever been ever in that part of your life when you're just thinking, oh, I have to go to therapy, or you're afraid to drop the therapy, or you've been to therapy for years and then you're afraid to stop going to therapy because, oh my god, what if I stop doing something? What if that deteriorates me down to the past version of myself that I work so hard to fix or not be or evolve? And I feel a little bit nervous because I did not record a YouTube video in so long. Oh my god, I think it has been a whole month. But we are talking about self-development on this channel. We're talking about perseverance, how to become the person you truly want to be, the person you feel like you deserve to be, or you have a role model and you think, oh, I could never be her. Yes, you can be her. And how do we do that? We keep it to our word, even when we don't want to do stuff. We still do it. So I'm here to record a YouTube video, and this feels so uncomfortable. And I just think like I'm rushing. Will they be able to understand me? But we are doing this. And next YouTube video, it's gonna be easier, because when we start on our path to anything, the first step is always hardest to start, but then we pick up the speed and then we're almost unstoppable until we stop again, and then we restart again. So coming back to the topic, why did I think about this? Why did I remember this? Because I knew we always know a lot of information, but we don't remember all of it always. So this is very useful for you to know. Why did I remember of this? Because we all have patterns, we all have behaviors, we all have limiting beliefs. And if you're anything like me, you've been to therapy, you know some of your struggles, some of the things you need to watch out for, work on, some of the things you don't really like. For me, it is being a victim. And we obviously know from this channel, I'm dating multiple men at the same time. That's a topic for another video. But what keeps, and I'm doing this for a few years on and off, I'm 28, so what keeps recurring in my life is the feeling of victim. When some man does something that I don't want to deal with, that I don't want them to do. At the beginning, that was almost a lot of different things. So I was triggered. My behavior or feeling of victimhood have been surfaced a lot more. So, as I said, I went to therapy. I had my coaches. I changed so many therapists. Oh my god, and so many different therapy routes. And I had my mentors, and I invested much time in myself to overcome certain belief systems that do not serve me anymore, certain patterns. I first started with dating, but then it became like, it went into like every aspect of my life, where today I'm like almost certified to become a life coach. And what happened today? The story. Let's go to the story. This is a juicy one. My friends always say, because almost all of my friends are like married, in relationship, engaged, so they love listening to my dating stories. So dating story. What a good one. Today I got the message. So I came back from work 6. I made some plans. I've been to shop, made some plans, pick up and got the dog for my friend. Dog I love. And I was just about to, I started preparing my food. I was just about to get into a shower in the bathroom, where I got the message from a man, and something underneath the lines, I'm waiting in a bar beside the door. And I'm like, I was like, what the F? And I started panicking, like I can feel it inside of my heart. I was like, oh no, what did I do wrong? Literally like panic. And then I remembered, well, I had it in the back of my head that there is 2 days. Today is 4th of July, so in Ireland. So we don't celebrate. But there's 2 men that tried to book a date with me. But I did not hear from this man in a few days. And one of them, he kind of fell off. We were not the match, so I just kind of let him go. And this, I was like, oh my God, I totally, like, it's not that I forgot, but I did not have it confirmed. So I was like, okay. It's like, I'm feeling a bit confused. He's like, I'm waiting in this hotel. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you did not text me for 6 days. 6 days. And a little disclaimer, when I tell these stories, they are so funny. And I love making fun of them. But I love men. And I'm not saying any part is wrong, any side is wrong. I'm just telling you a story. So do not think that I'm bashing man or this man or whatever man. There is self-development behind this, trust me. Behind this entertainment. So I was like, and I said to him, I'm like, I did not hear from you in 6 days. I thought the date is not happening. It's cancelled. Like, I was like, 6 days. People can like die in 6 days then. Like, things can happen to you. And he's like, and now he's getting more upset. Inside of me, I'm literally sitting with myself, having a mini panic attack. And I was just thinking, I was like, oh my God, what should I do? Overthinking about it. And I knew I don't want to. Like, I already have things planned. Like, I can't just drop my life and run to meet a man. So, but there is that part of me that was kind of like feeling guilty. He traveled. What if he gets upset? And I was like, just answer the best you can in this moment. Because I was like flustered as well. And then he started getting upset. And I'm like, okay, now this is really kind of like freaking me out. He was like, just tell me, like, are we meeting or not? I was like, no, I already have something planned. I don't have time today, lala. And then he went off. And at that point, the little programming I already have that I'm familiar of, being a victim, he was nasty, a little bit nasty, a lot nasty. I'm Slavic, so my little bit nasty would, like, for most of the world be nasty. So he went a little bit nasty. Then I was like, that little part of me, I was literally just, that is something that shook me out of that little overwhelm, anxiety I had. So that part of me of, oh, I am a victim. Why is God, why is universe, whatever it is there, why is it sending me this nasty man, a little nasty man? And why does these things keep happening to me? And I can feel it, like, I know the story because I heard it so many times. And in the past, this happened multiple times. In the past, I would just literally, I knew I had to sit down and cry. When I feel like a victim, I would just cry it out. And it would mostly happen with those nasty men, maybe 2 times a year, 2 times a year. And last time it happened with my mom, where I felt like a victim. But these feelings that we have in ourselves that keep repeating are ours. They do not have to do with anybody else. The same way he was getting angry and upset about me not showing up on a date 6 days later without communication. You know what I mean. At him, and he even told me, he's like, I told him, I did not hear from you for 6 days. I thought the date was cancelled because this is how my brain works. This is how I'm raised. This is how most of people's brains on this planet works. But his brain, and he's right and I'm right at the same time, he said, oh, this is not the good enough excuse not to show up. Him not saying anything to me for 6 days prior. This is so funny. It's like, okay, that is like, if I waited for every man that wanted to book a date with me, and if I took them all serious, like, I would be having, like, all my hair would be grey waiting for men. Without notice, like, without communicating, without showing. Anyways, without getting into that stuff. So this time, I knew, I was like, oh, this feels familiar. And emotions always come, it depends. With some people are different than others. Some first have thoughts showed up, then emotions in their, sensations in their body, and then emotions, reaction. And then some would first have sensations in their body, then thoughts, then emotions. It depends, but those 3 things are usually correlated. So one first shows up, and then second one hits, and the third one hits. So for me it was first feeling, and then thoughts started, and now I'm familiar with those thoughts. I know those thoughts. It's like, okay, I want to cry now. And then I was like trying to hold it, and I was like, no, let's see what happens. So this time, instead of crying for 2 minutes, what happened last time with my mom, this time only my eyes teared up, and that was it. So similar stimuli, similar trigger, as some would call it, same reaction, but different level, different velocity of reaction, different strength of reaction to stimuli. And I learned this from my mentor, one of my mentors. So how most people think self-development, growth, emotional intelligent growth, inner work works is they think it works like this: straight up, or you go up and down and up and down and up and down. This is not it. This changed my life forever. So it looks more like this: spiral. It's going this direction. I know you're confused. You're like, why do we feel down? Why do we feel like crying every time? But we feel like crying every time less and less, and something is less. So first, when a reaction, when behavior, when limiting belief, me crying because somebody did not treat me the way I wanted to be treated, and feeling like a victim. When it first started here, it was the end of the world. Like, it was the blackest one. The darkest one. The darkest hole. It probably lasts. I don't remember. Oh God, I remember. Fuck. It's just stressing me out remembering now. Feeling like a victim. I remember I was the oldest one I can remember. I'm sure there was older than those ones. I cried for an hour on the call with my therapist. 3.5, almost 4 years ago. So from crying on the phone for an hour with my therapist 4 years ago, and these are the hardest because they consume you. They consume your energy. They consume your life. You don't have as much hope. You feel hopeless. And then you continue. You go on more therapies. You go do more coaching. You do whatever exorcism. You feel better. So you're here. And then you keep doing your things. And then something happens. Stimuli. English is not my first language, so forgive me. And then it hits you again. The same belief for me. I'm the victim. And then you cry and you have the same reaction. So you feel sensation in your body, your thoughts, negative thoughts, limiting beliefs start, and then you start crying. For me, for you it can be different. And then you finally, okay, last time it was an hour, this time it is still an hour, but like you're not, like you're taking breaks in between. And then you continue. You try some new therapy. Some maybe like, I'm not sure how to call it. I did regression therapy. That was magic for me. And that everything is working out, and then it hits you again. And then this time you're crying for like 20 minutes. And you already kind of like, you know, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have this sensation, and then I'm gonna think these things, and I'm gonna cry, and then it's gonna be fine. We know this, we can do this. And then you do more inner work, more self-development, more knowing, exploring about yourself. And then when it hits last time, I'm not sure if there is last time, but when it hits after all of those little progression triggers, when it hits here, you already kind of like, before it happens, you kind of like, okay, let's do this rodeo again. And then your tears you just have your tears inside of your eyes. If you reflect on whatever you overcame, and why is this important? Because most people think like self-development and growth is just this. And then the first time they go down, they gave up because they're like, I'm not doing something well, I need to change therapist, something is not working. I know because I did this. Then they quit. But nothing really much changed here. And the people who think that this is self-development, they're kind of like, if you see the energy of this, it's kind of like push and pull. But if you truly believe in this way of self-development, you already know, like, okay, it is a spiral, and it is never-ending spiral. So we're gonna develop and we are gonna grow. Maybe sometimes you're gonna hit the similar spots, but it's never gonna be the same as the first one where we started from. And how does this come to play? How to implement this inside of your life is to this is so silly of me, because I am overachiever. I am like driven. So when I record my progress, how I recorded my progress until like 4 months ago is I would just write down in my journal what did I do wrong, and then I will coach myself through it to know what to do better next time. But if you truly want to live inside of this spiral, if you want to embody this mindset, because this mindset is different than this and this, it's much easier, it's much more graceful, it's much more loving, and with ease, grace, and love in your self-development, you'll progress further and bigger and faster. So how to embody this? You can ask yourself, how can I more embody the spiral mindset? Or you can answer for this question: when was the last time I had a similar reaction? When was the first time I had same reaction to similar situation? And what was the last time that I have same reaction to similar situation? Just having that kind of like, instead of, because you see, these two are kind of the same. This one is more zoomed in, so this one would be part of this. It's more zoomed in. This is more, a little bit more zoomed out, but this is what it is. So if we are in this kind of mindset, it's good or nothing. If we zoom out a little bit, if we kind of have that mindset of just collecting data. Okay, when was the first time I felt this way? How did that look for me? And when was the last time, and how did that work for me? You'll see progression from your first and the last one. And then thinking more, instead of all or nothing, thinking more of analytically, like, okay, how does this thing looks for me? And then next time when it hits, because it is gonna hit again, there is gonna be a stimuli, there is gonna be another trigger, you will be amazed that the awareness you brought to that thing, just thinking like, when were you with this situation 4 years ago, and where are you now? Bringing awareness to something, knowing something in more details. For example, now that maybe you reflected on the thing that emotion keeps reappearing, now you maybe know, like, okay, my reaction would be, for example, I would start thinking these particular things, and then I would start feeling anger, and then I would like crank up my muscles. And then even when it happens, when it starts happening again, maybe you will not be able to realize until 5 minutes after, when you already had reaction, you're cranked up, and you'll be like, oh wait, this is the thing that happens to me. You'll be able to relax. And then in the next spiral, you'll be able to remember maybe a minute after it happens, or in the middle of when it's happening. And when you hit, this is the first step, just being aware. When you come to your awareness of what is happening while it is happening to you, no matter if it's beginning, middle, end, you already won. You're already here. You're already out of it. When you get separated, when it does not consume you the way it consumes you the first time, it's like 95% down, 95% done. It's a little finesses, and that is it. So I hope this helps you out. I hope you brought more awareness to something that keeps reoccurring in your life. And this actually helped me, talking about it helped me summarize it for myself, and help me even now, like I'm like, oh, that thing that keeps reoccurring in my job, there's definitely some juice in it. So becoming more aware of it, asking myself, when did it last happen? First time it happened, like I thought about it for like 3 days, and then I had to express it outwards. Like I had to literally gossip about the thing that happened once 3 days ago, where the last time it happened, I was only that negative mindset energy for maybe 15-20 minutes, half an hour max. And how does that state looks like for you? The state that triggers you, the state you want to become aware of, how does that look for you? I truly do hope this helps you. If it did, please leave me a comment down below, like. It's gonna motivate me to create more videos like this. And yeah, I hope I see you soon. You can watch the next video, and yeah, thank you for watching.